Let's talk about something that most people don't realize is a problem: receiving, not giving, receiving. And I'd be willing to bet this one hits closer to home than you'd expect. Welcome back. Today's day 17 of your money mindset reset. The last 2 days, we've been talking about giving and what it looks like in real life, why it matters beyond money, and how it shifts your relationship with abundance. Today, we're flipping it because giving and receiving are two sides of the same equation. And if you're only comfortable with one of them, then the whole thing is out of balance. I want to be upfront with you from the start. This is not a day where I'm going to tell you I figured this out, because I have not. This is one of the places I am still actively working every day. And I think that's exactly why it's worth talking about. A lot of people who are very good at giving are genuinely terrible at receiving. And they wear that as a badge of honor, like it's some sign of strength or self sufficiency or generosity. But here's what's actually happening: when you consistently refuse support, deflect help, and find ways to immediately return every favor, you're not just being independent, you're blocking something. You're blocking the natural flow of exchange that makes relationships real, that makes community possible. And that, when it comes to money, limits the ways abundance can actually reach you. Giving without receiving isn't generosity, it's control in a different direction. It keeps you in charge of the dynamic at all times, which feels safe. But it's not the same as being open. And I know this because it describes me almost exactly. My instinct when anyone offers help in any form is almost always to decline. But when it comes to money specifically, that instinct is absolute. I cannot bring myself to accept monetary help. It doesn't matter the circumstances. My answer is always no before I've even finished hearing the offer. And that's not ingratitude. I genuinely appreciate when people offer. But the moment help arrives, something in me tightens. And it doesn't feel like relief. It feels like exposure. Like I've admitted something about myself that I'm not comfortable admitting. Part of that goes back further than I can even fully trace. My grandparents on both sides carried a strong belief that you should never owe people money, that debt, financial or otherwise, was something to be avoided and eliminated as quickly as possible. That message got passed down, I absorbed it, and it lives in me in ways I'm still unpacking. The beliefs we inherit about money rarely come with labels. They just feel like the truth. You don't owe people money sounds like wisdom, and in some contexts, it certainly is. But when it becomes the reason you can't accept support without feeling controlled, it's worth examining. The clearest example of this in my life was in college when my tuition came in higher than expected and I needed real help. That help came in the form of a co-signed loan from my parents. And the moment it was signed, I felt stress. Not relief, stress. Because help from my parents came with strings attached, and a lot of them. It was never just help. It came with weight. Emotional, relational, sometimes financial weight layered on top of the support. So I made it my mission to pay that loan off as fast as I possibly could. Not just because I wanted to be responsible, because I needed to get out from under the feeling of owing them. The debt wasn't just financial. It felt relational, like being owed something gave them leverage. And I could not stand that. And that's when I understood something about myself. I had built an equation in my head where receiving equaled debt and debt equaled being controlled. And that equation has run a lot of my decisions ever since. And I still haven't fully dismantled it. I understand it better now, and that's different. It still shows up in smaller ways too, and maybe these will feel more familiar, like compliments. I've had to consciously train myself to just say thank you and stop. Not qualify it, not redirect it, not immediately point out something wrong with whatever was being complimented. Just thank you, full stop. Because anything more, and I can feel myself getting uncomfortable. Like I'm accepting something I haven't earned or don't deserve to hold on to. When someone offers to pay for something, my brain immediately starts calculating how to return it. Not later, immediately. I'm already figuring out how to make it even before the gesture has even finished landing, because imbalance feels unsafe to me. If someone has done something for me and I haven't done something equal in return, something in me will not rest. And I'll be honest, I actively try to avoid putting myself in situations where someone might pay for me. Not because I'm ungrateful, because the discomfort isn't worth it to me, which should tell you exactly how deeply this runs. If you recognize yourself in any of this, the deflecting, the immediate reciprocating, the discomfort with compliments, you're not broken. You're operating on a belief system about receiving that was built for you long before you had any say in it. How do you typically respond when someone offers to help you or pay for something? Do you accept it easily, or does something in you resist? Just be honest. I promise that you are not the only one who finds this harder than it should be. And here's where receiving connects directly to money and to abundance. When you block receiving, you narrow the channels through which support and opportunity can reach you. You make yourself an island. And islands are independent, yes, but they're also cut off. Financially, this can look like refusing to ask for help when you're in over your head. Turning down opportunities because accepting them would mean owing someone something. Staying stuck in situations longer than necessary because asking for support feels worse than staying stuck. The mindset that says, I have to figure this out alone, is often framed as strength. And sometimes it is. But when it becomes a wall that keeps help from reaching you, including financial help, knowledge, mentorship, collaboration, then it's costing you. Real abundance requires flow in both directions. You cannot just give. You have to be willing to receive. Otherwise, you're not participating in the exchange. You're just performing generosity while quietly controlling every dynamic. And here's the distinction that helped me the most. Not all receiving is the same. The discomfort I feel when I consider accepting help is often rooted in a special kind of receiving, the kind that came with strings, with leverage, and with conditions, the kind that cost me something beyond the financial. But that's not what all receiving is. Healthy receiving, the kind that comes from genuine generosity, from community, from relationships, doesn't come with conditions. It doesn't create debt. It creates a connection. And learning to tell the difference, to pause before automatically declining and ask, is this support or is this control? That's the work. And it doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It means making a conscious choice instead of a reflexive one. So here are some steps to practice. First, notice your reaction before you respond. When someone offers help, pause. Don't answer on instinct. Just notice what happens in your body. The tightening, the urge to decline, the mental math on how to return the favor, that's information. Second, ask yourself, is this support or is this control? Is this person offering something freely? Or is there a dynamic here that has historically cost me something? Not every offer of help is the same. Distinguish between the two. Third, practice with small things, not a financial bailout, a compliment. Someone holding a door, someone offering to grab you a coffee. Just let it land. Say thank you and let it be enough. Build the muscle with low stakes before you need it for high ones. So go ahead and grab that journal. If you haven't downloaded one, in the description for this video and all of them in this series, you'll find a link. So first, when someone offers help, my instinct is to, and then write out an honest answer. Not what you think you should, but what you actually do. Second, what do I believe will happen if I accept help? Go past the surface answer. Is it about debt? Is it about control or appearing weak? Owing something you can't repay? Name it specifically. Third, one small way I can practice receiving this week is choose something genuinely low stakes, like a compliment, an offer of help with something minor. Something where the cost of practicing is low, but the muscle being built is real. Because receiving is a skill. And like any skill, it gets built through practice, not through deciding to be different all at once. Receiving isn't weakness. It isn't debt. It isn't giving up control. It's trust. Trust that support can exist without strings. That accepting help doesn't mean losing yourself. That the flow of generosity was always meant to move in both directions. I'm still working on this, and I think that's okay to say out loud, because the goal isn't to have it figured out perfectly. It's to understand it well enough that it stops making decisions for you. You have more control than you think. You've got this. I'll see you tomorrow for day 18, where we take everything we've explored about giving, receiving, control, and worth, and bring it into one of the most loaded arenas of all, money and relationships. How we navigate finances with the people closest to us, and what it reveals about everything we've been working on. I'll see you then.